want you to go and check the ingredients of the last thing that you ate. Now, whatever it is, I want you to just get the box for it, right? I got these freaking things right here. I want you to check the ingredients on it, right? So these are on the side, as in French, but this right here is what you're looking for. So I want you to read all of the ingredients out, and I want you to see how many of them you don't even recognize, how many of them you can't even pronounce, how many of them you can't even spell out. And I want you to count how many there are, right? So if I go through all of these, we got filling, apple concentrate, raspberry puree, guar gum. That's like 12 different ingredients on here that I can't even pronounce. So I want you to go through the last thing you ate. I want you to count how many ingredients went into it that you can't even pronounce. And the final figure that you come up with, I want you to do that many push-ups. So I got about 12 on here that I can't even pronounce. So I'm gonna do 12 push-ups. So do them with me, if you can. All right, so 12. 1. 12. 12 push-ups. Do them now. Or at least how many you got on this thing that you couldn't even pronounce. So the reason I did that and why I'm making you do that is because like the title says, today I'm going to show you how to eat like a warrior in order to live like one. Right? So the first thing you have to do to fix your mindset when it comes to your diet, the first thing that you have to do to get a better body, better skin, better mental health from your diet is to stop thinking of food as a fuel, but you have to think of it as more as a language of how our bodies communicate with nature. Right? Because I'm a little out of breath. But yeah, you have to think of food as how our bodies communicate with our environment, right? If I eat a raw carrot, I'm sending my body a different message than if I ate a slice of cake, for example. It's a very different message. It's kind of like a language of how our environment communicates with our body, and obviously our body is going to adjust. Our body is going to try to adjust to our environment, right? That's what us getting sick is. That's what us getting fat is. But it's also how we get lean. It's how we get healthy. It's how we get better mental health from our diet as well. It's by giving our body the right input that is conducive to health. So you do this by going for quality instead of quantity in your food, right? So instead of just tracking your calories, tracking your macros, trying to just meet your macros, bro, no, you don't do that. What you have to do instead is try and eat whole foods instead of just trying to meet your macros and your calories, right? So say if I'm bulking, the first thing I'm gonna have to prioritize is eating organic foods, like, organic vegetables, organic meat, organic animal byproducts, organic nuts, all of that, instead of just meeting my calories, being on a surplus if I'm bulking, or just making sure I'm on a deficit if I'm cutting, or just being on equilibrium if I'm maintaining. So doing this is, like I said before, it's gonna get you better skin, right? I'll put 2 photos in here of like my skin now versus like a couple days ago, because a couple days ago I'll say right now I cheated on my diet. I'm not proud of it, but I did. So I'll put 2 photos of me then versus me now, and you'll be able to see the difference of how I got better skin when I started following this diet, when I started eating whole foods instead. So yeah, it's also going to give you a sharper mind, right? I'm more articulate now compared to when I had a slice of pecan pie or something yesterday. I didn't have it yesterday, but if I film this on Monday, then I'd probably be less articulate than I am now, because it's Friday and I've been eating clean for about 5 days. So definitely I have more brain power. I have more focus that I can devote to making these videos. So it's gonna give you better physical health, obviously. I could probably run faster. I just did 12 push-ups pretty easily. I mean, I say pretty easily, but I was out of breath. So yeah, it's definitely going to better your physical health and as well as your gut health as well. Gut health is very important, and I think it's very underrated in our current space, just because people don't understand how important it is. Because your gut health affects what? Like your endocrine system, your body fat, your mental health, everything. Like one of the best ways to improve your overall health is to just improve your gut health alone. So it's also gonna buff all your stats in general, you know? Like if you're playing some kind of RPG, some kind of role-playing game or like a video game, improving your diet, taking what you eat seriously, is going to improve every single area of your life just from that one act. Kind of like how in video games you would get this, I don't know, serum that buffs all of your stats. Like it buffs your healing, it buffs your attack, it buffs your magic or whatever. Same thing with improving your diet. It's just all around good for you. So another concept that is involved with healthy eating is basically you have to eat like a human being should. So like what does that mean? Well, think of our hunter-gatherer ancestors of, you know, cavemen or like early farmers. What did they eat compared to what we eat now? Like a hunter-gatherer would eat what? Berries, meat, nuts, maybe some water, maybe some honey if they were super lucky, but that's about it. Right? They ate things that came right from the land. They ate all these fresh foods. They ate like organic meat that they had just killed and slaughtered. So compare that to our modern diet where we have like these giant vending machines where we can just enter a code, swipe a card, and then we get this prepared meal that we just have to like add water to and microwave in order to get like a 500 calorie meal of like noodles or something. Right? And like that's really not what human beings are supposed to eat, because our bodies are not that different from our ancestors from thousands of years ago. Our bodies still expect the same foods, at least for now. So something like this, any kind of snack food, anything processed, has stuff in it that the human body has basically never been exposed to within the past 100 years or so. Stuff like that is a very recent invention, and honestly, it's just not something that the body's used to, which is why we're like slightly allergic to these kind of things. It's because our body is reacting to this foreign substance that it really hasn't been exposed to before, because our ancestors never ate anything like that, so our bodies haven't adapted to it, right? That's an example of microevolution. So the fitness sphere on YouTube obviously has it pretty wrong. Like look at the average bodybuilding diet, they have it all wrong, right? Like protein drinks that you can get out of a vending machine, use that example again, or like bodybuilder toast, or they're having like 200 grams of carbs per day, or doing like this 10,000 calorie challenges where they're just eating like pizza and waffles just to build muscle. Like it is possible to build muscle while you're just like working out every day, but you're only eating junk food. It's possible, but your mental health is going to suffer, and you know your mental capacity is going to suffer as well, because you're not giving it the correct input. You're not giving it healthy fats so that it can work properly. That's just one of the many problems with fitness influencers and their diets today. So if you want to be healthy, you got to eat single ingredient foods, basically. Single ingredient foods are like vegetables, like potatoes, for example. I can just pull a potato out of the earth, I can boil it in some water, and then I eat it. That's an example of a single ingredient food. Or fish. I just catch a fish out of the ocean, I cook it over a fire, and I eat it. Right? There's nothing in a meal of potato and salmon than just potato and salmon. You see what I mean? Those are two examples of, you know, single ingredient foods, as well as like organic foods as well. So it's very good for you. Another thing you're going to want to do is keep your carb intake under 100 grams per day, because heavy carbohydrates, especially like refined carbohydrates like bread, pasta, rice even, they're very heavy, so they're quite difficult for the human body to digest. So our bodies take a very long time they take a lot of time and effort Two, to digest stuff like complex carbs. So bread, pasta, rice, it's like a giant clump of like tightly compacted, compact carbs that your body has to take a whole lot of time to break down. And that's quite a long process, and it uses like a lot of your energy, a lot of the total energy that your body has that it could be devoting to other things. Plus, if you don't burn the calories off from those refined carbs, it's just going to go right to your body fat. Right? That's like the only food group that is going to go straight to your body fat, besides like beer, which is a carb as well. So, yeah, all refined carbs are going to go straight to your belly. They're all going to go straight to your body fat if you don't burn all of their calories off, which is the only food group that does that. So this diet that I'm describing and I'm going to describe should be obviously paired with resistance training if you want to build a good physique. So resistance training is weightlifting, basically. It's training your muscles to resist weight by using gravity, right? So your muscles undergo hypertrophy, hopefully, and they grow and they get stronger. And you get more fit as a result because you're burning calories and you're burning muscle. So you get lean and you get muscular, right? So yeah, this diet is only really gonna work if you're lifting weights or going to like a gym to work on the machines, or just something like that. Even if you're just doing calisthenics, like push-ups and pull-ups and that kind of stuff. This diet will work as long as you do something like that, preferably every day, but even if you're doing resistance training, like going to the gym like 5 times a week, you're definitely fine. This is definitely gonna work for you. So, this diet works with cutting, bulking, and maintaining just because it's so flexible. All you have to do really is adjust your caloric intake to be on a surplus, deficit, or obviously equilibrium with your calorie output. So what that means is like this diet is very versatile because no matter how much calories you're burning in a day, you can always adjust. All you have to do is adjust how much you're eating to fit your goals, right? So with bulking, you're obviously going to have to be on a calorie surplus. Your calories in is going to have to be more than your calories out. So what you have to do is make sure that you're eating the stuff that I described. Make sure you're eating the right stuff, the organic stuff, as well as make sure that, you're hitting the gym as well. That you're keeping your training up, which is another important habit to build, but I'll talk about that later. So if you're cutting, you're gonna wanna have less calories in than calories out, right? Because you're outputting calories, you're trying to lose fat. And obviously if you're maintaining, you're gonna want them to be about equal. So within like 100 calories of each other should be your calories in and your calories out. And you can calculate your calorie output either by wearing some kind of Fitbit, some kind of health watch, or you can calculate it online using I think Legion Athletics has a calorie output calculator. You center your age, your sex, your weight, your height, how much activity you're getting in a day. It'll give you like a rough number of about how much your daily caloric output is. So yeah, that's how you find out how much calories you're putting out. You can eat as many meals or snacks in a day as you like. Like for example, some people traditionally eat 3 meals per day, and some people eat like 5 meals per day. Some people have just like little snacks like every hour. But the most, kind of like the meta for an incredible diet like this, like the most bang for your buck when you're on this kind of diet is to only have 1 big meal a day, and preferably quite late in the day, right? So what I do is I get up, I go through my morning routine, I work on this, I film my videos, I script, I edit, I do everything. Then I work out, then I go to school or whatever I have in the day. Then I get back from school, and then I eat, right? Then I eat 1 big meal. And that works very well because I work a lot harder when I'm fasted, right? I work a lot harder on this, I work a lot harder in the gym, I work a lot harder on school when I'm fasted because I have that drive, like that masculine kind of hunger, because I'm deprived of food. So it's like my brain is naturally hardwired into working harder when I don't have any food, so I gotta work harder for it, right? I don't wanna satisfy my brain early in the day by eating a meal. That's kind of saying to my brain, okay, you don't have to work hard at all today. You don't really have to commit to anything today because you already have food. So yeah, most effective tactic is to just have one meal late in the day. So you work like an absolute like animal, like a predator. So eating that one meal per day is also going to boost your metabolism. So it's going to give you more efficient fat burning abilities and athletic capabilities. So you're probably actually going to be like thinner. You're going to be a lot more lean if you only have one meal per day, like late in the day with this diet, compared to if you did the exact same diet, but you spread your food out for like 3 meals or like 5 meals per day. So this is going to make you obviously work a lot harder, like I said. Some limiting beliefs about this kind of diet is that normal people will see it and they're like, well, I don't really want to give up carbs or junk food or like this shitty food in general. Well, then you obviously aren't ready to have, this top 1% attraction with your body, like this athletic capability or the brain power or the physical prowess that comes with it. Obviously, you're just gonna have to take a good look at your life, think about if you still want to stay there or if you want to get better. And come back when you're ready to get better, basically. If you actually stuck around long enough in this video and listened to everything that I'm saying and you still disagree, you still don't want to give up junk food, you still don't want to give up refined carbs, then you have my permission to click off immediately. I'm obviously wasting your time. Just come back when you're ready. I'll be here waiting for you, and I'll be a lot further ahead than you are now. Another excuse is, are processed foods even that bad for you? Is this even that bad for you? I mean, it has like some nice carbs in there, it has fruit, it might have a little protein too. This is something like a modern bodybuilder would eat, right? Well, yeah, honestly, that is that bad for you. Go read Deep Nutrition by Dr. Catherine Shanahan. I'll put an affiliate link to the book in the description. You can also check out my reading list where I have like thousands of books just like it, where you can learn about the real truth behind stuff like diet. That's just like one of the few of the dozen topics that it covers. But yeah, go read Deep Nutrition by Dr. Catherine Shanahan. She's an epigeneticist, an epigenetic doctor. She studies this area called epigenetics, where it's basically the study of how our genes change in like real time based on our environment, based off of the food that we eat, based off of the kind of air that we're exposed to. This is like cutting edge stuff. So it's very like esoteric food knowledge, and it reveals kind of like how seed oils and sugar, they're actually the things that make us fat and give us cancer, in case you didn't know that yet. They're basically low-grade toxins for our body because they are natural substances. So maybe you've been educated by, the public school system, and you've been taught all this bullshit research from like 50 years ago that was sponsored by these big cereal companies that we need, for example, 9 servings of carbs per day, of like 9 servings of grains per day, which is absolute bullcrap, or that like saturated fat makes you fat, like steak. Like the fat on a steak is gonna make you fat. That's not true. That's not true at all. You can eat like all the butter and all the nuts and all the steak that you want, and you probably won't even get as fat as if you ate like a bowl of cereal in the morning, because that is just gonna kill your metabolism. It's gonna kill your testosterone. So yeah, go read Deep Nutrition by Dr. Catherine Shanahan and apply the steps that she outlines there, and yeah, it'll work great for you if you have the money and the time and the resources to carry out all the steps that she has. So another question, are carbs even that bad for you? Like refined carbs in general, or just like carbohydrates as like a chemical? Well, kind of yes, you do need carbohydrates, which like the only carbohydrate in this diet that I follow is basically just starchy vegetables, non-starch vegetables, and maybe like a couple dairy products that aren't that high in sugar. So I stopped eating refined carbs, and there was like a significant difference in my bloating after eating. It just like bulged after I ate like spaghetti or like pasta or like bread, of just like how like pot-bellied I got, just because like the gas was building up. Like, you get really bad gas from those things. Believe me, like I have it all the time. It's just nasty. Like I've had bad gas for like my entire life, just because I was eating these refined carbs that were creating gas in my system. I'm like, honestly, it was terrible. Like, the amount of methane gas that was just coming out of me, it was completely embarrassing. I thought I had like something wrong with me, but when I gave up refined carbs, it just completely went away. So yeah, I'll show my progress between those two times, and just how like lean I am now, and how less bloated I am now compared to then. So you're gonna want to keep your carb intake under 100 grams. I think I already said that. Another question is, my parents won't let me get the proper food to eat for this diet. Well, what you're gonna have to do then is just buy protein powder and take a scoop every day if you're low on it. For proper carbs or fat intake, like the 3 macros, right? Carbs, fat, and protein. If you're lacking proper carbs or fat, you're just gonna have to do what you can with what they give you, right? I'm like, maybe they'll give you some processed stuff that maybe has like a fair amount of saturated fat, like these pepperoni sticks. They have a fair amount of fat and protein in them. They could be worse for you, but they could be a lot better. So yeah, if you don't have the money to buy like actual good food for yourself, selling for that, at least for now, is okay. It's acceptable. It's what I did. But what you should be doing is you should be working towards maybe increasing your income if you have a job, or getting a job, and increasing your income, increasing the amount of money that you're making, so that you can actually afford to buy yourself good food. If this diet is a priority for you, yeah, you're definitely going to want to get a job and use that money to buy better food with the money that you get from whatever you're doing. So finally, the actual step for this video is to buy a MegaWise scale. Like, a MegaWise scale is like this very high-tech scale that I bought. It's quite cheap, but I think it's made in China, but it measures all of your food according to weight instead of volume, which is very important. Logging your food by weight is actually a lot more accurate, because volume, like stuff can get tightly compacted. Like, if I try and measure flour by volume with like a cup measurement, maybe it gets very compact, right? So it could get very compact, so the measurement could be very inaccurate compared to if I measure it by weight on a scale. It's like no BS. It's going to get you a much more accurate result. So yeah, buy the MegaWise scale, measure out all your food on it, and log it down to the gram. Use the gram measurement, right? So log it while using MyFitnessPal or another food database. I have a Fitbit, so I use the Fitbit food database. It gives me my macro split, my calorie output, and input, and all of that. MyFitnessPal does the exact same, so use one of those. And be sure to measure, by weight instead of volume. Use my doc that I put in the description to make an effective diet plan. I just finished it right here. It looks pretty good. It'll just give you an outline of what foods to pick and how much of them you should have, like what percentage of your calories should come from fat and proteins and carbs and all that stuff, what's safe to eat, what's not. It's pretty easy to understand, so yeah, go check that out. And I'll also put an affiliate link in the description for the MegaWise scale and for the book Deep Nutrition by Dr. Catherine Shanahan. Go and check them out if you're interested in really just maximizing your diet and, building a better body, building a better mind. And if you want to help out the channel as well, I would deeply appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for watching this far. Be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell if you really want to. I feel kind of cheap asking that, but I guess I gotta get used to it. Check out the products I listed in the description. I plan to make more nutrition videos in the future. I think food is kind of part of my purpose, finding the right sources of food, where to buy it from, how to cook it properly, how to make just really delicious dishes. Maybe I'll be like a keto chef in the future, who knows? But yeah, I'm definitely gonna post more content on like culinary arts. So definitely check out those two if you're watching these in like the near future. So yeah, that's my plan from now on. I'm gonna make more videos like this, so stay tuned. I'll see you later.